What's up, guys? I just had a major bicycle crash. I've fallen. I braced my arm down, and my right arm was flipped this way. It was strictly out of the socket. I was in tremendous pain, and I still had 16 miles to go to a safe area. So today I want to talk about a couple of things. One is not having an exit button. And what does that mean for you as an entrepreneurship in your own personal life? Because when we have an exit button, when things get tough, it's very easy for us to push that exit button. And I was very, very lucky not to have this exit button. So let's go back to the story. I was bicycling about 12, 15 miles an hour. I was drinking some water. I took my hands off the steering wheel. I lost control. As I was falling with my heavy bike, I braced my hand out, and my hand got basically broken, dislocated, and my elbow was facing the other direction. I splattered on the concrete ground, and I was in significant pain. And the worst part of it is that I was in a bad neighborhood. There was a lot of drug going on. There was a lot of gang members going on, and I'm splashed on the ground, and my arm is dislocated. It's flipped like this, and I'm in significant pain. And I'm on the ground for like 2 minutes, and I start realizing that I'm about to get into shock, because when I look over my arm doesn't look like normal anymore, and I know that shock is coming. And there's no one for me to call. I couldn't even call an ambulance because I don't have a phone, or figure out what the hospital is. I didn't have any juice. The phone didn't have any juice, and I didn't have any battery, nor did I have a phone service. So I realized that I have to do something, or I'm going to be in a tough situation in a bad area. So I knew that in the next few minutes I'm going to go into shock. So the very first thing I did is I pulled myself up, which is extremely hard, and I went into my bags, which were scattered everywhere, and looked for some dates, which is basically some sugar to eat. Dates, the fruit, because I knew I was going to go into shock. And sure enough, a few minutes later, I was in shock, and I start just sweating heavily, breathing very shallow, and I mean just literally shaking. My body was going into shock. I had just experienced tremendous trauma. I was in significant pain. It was hard to breathe. My ribs are messed up. It's like only 12 hours. I haven't even had a chance to take a shower or even take a look at myself. I just got back to a safe place. I had to walk 16 miles after the crash. So anyways, I knew I was going to go into shock, so I ate one date to help my body out. And then I sat down for 2 or 3 minutes to experience the shock. And man, I was just sweating. I was just sweating like crazy. My body was shaking. My arms were shaking. I couldn't stop it. And I'm going into shock. And during this time, I figured, hey, this is a good time to grab my arm and twist it and yank it back into place, because the pain was significant, and I figured that it's going to be even more painful as my body starts cooling off. And since I'm already in this shock, I'm probably not going to feel that much pain because I'm already in this. So I basically pulled my arm, and it was very, very painful, I should say, pretty disgusting. And then I just sit down for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And the messed up thing was I had no water. So I tried to gather all my stuff that I could with one arm. Again, my arm is very banged up. I can't move it. It's hard to breathe. I'm jacked up. My bike's all messed up. My pedals got, bent. It was a hard crash. My bike got damaged. So I started walking, guys. I started walking to the gas station, and I have blood on me. My hands all jacked up, dude. Like I look like shit. I'm pale as hell. I'm sweating like crazy. I'm in shock, dude. My body's in shock. So I had to walk maybe like 2 or 3 miles to the gas station. I look like crap, dude. I walk into the gas station like people are just looking at me because I look pale. I got my hand up. I mean, it's swollen. It doesn't look good. So I was able to get some water. I bought some ice at the gas station. I got one of those hot dog wrap plastic, and I put the ice in there. I tried to be MacGyver, and I sat down for like 20, 30 minutes and iced it down, which helped a lot because the pain was significant. And the funny thing is, in this whole time, not has one person that ever asked me, "Do you need any help, man?" I didn't look good. I was very, very pale. At any time, I could have just fainted. I was out of it. I was very lucky to be able to eat that date because I knew I was going into shock to basically help my body have some energy. So I got the water. I drink it because I was extremely thirsty. I mean, like, when you go into shock, you become dehydrated like crazy. I'm sweating. I'm shaking. It was pretty crazy. So I sit down for like 30 minutes, put some ice on, drink some water, and then I have to get up. And now, it's probably like 12 o'clock at night. I fell around 10 o'clock. By the time I walked to the gas station, which is only like 2 or 3 miles, not that long. It's like 2 hours later. I'm in significant pain. I got to carry my bike, extremely heavy, and I'm walking, and I'm in significant pain. So anyways, after the gas station, now I have like 14 miles back to what I call a safe area, because I was in a crappy part of town. So I had to walk, guys. So I didn't get any sleep. I walked all night. It was 6 in the morning, 6 in the morning or 7:30. I started, looking for a place where I could buy one of these sling things for my arm because the pain was significant. I kind of rigged myself a arm sling with my first aid, but it wasn't the best. It was very painful. Every time I walk, I feel, significant pain in it. So I started walking, guys, 14, 15 miles home, and right around 6, 7 o'clock is where I got to a safe area that I recognized. And about to hit the gym, take a shower, and look at my bruises because I haven't even taken a look at my bruises, guys. It's just been a whole night of an adventure. So a couple of things that I learned is that, one thing that I've always learned is that when shit hits the fan, it requires significant calmness. And that's one of the good things with me. The harder life becomes for me, the calmer I become. In this situation where my life was in danger, I was super, super calm, to be able to think that, hey, I'm about to go into shock. I need some sugar in my body to be able to help me up. Hey, I need some water. Hey, I need to get some ice. Hey, I need to get my first aid and wrap my arm up so it doesn't cause more damages. And just simple stuff like that, okay? Which I'm very, very proud of myself because, I don't think if it was anyone else, they would have hit that exit button and they would have bailed out or called someone to come pick them up. I didn't have anyone to call, so I didn't have that option. But I'm happy that I didn't have that option because it did help me build character. And I realized that no matter what happens, if I'm hurt, if I'm not, I'm a calm, cool, smart individual, that I'm an overcomer. That I'm an overcomer. No matter what it is, I can overcome it. I don't need anyone. I can do it by myself. And I believe the same thing with you. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is that panic button. When we have that panic button, when we have a security line, when we have something like that, it's very easy not to be our dreams because we can always hit that panic button. I didn't have that option to hit the panic button. If I did have the option, I probably wouldn't hit it anyways because, this builds character. Yes, I did get banged up. But it did teach me a lot, dude. It did teach me that no matter what happens, I can take care of myself. And being calm and cool and collective is the key for success, no matter if you're talking about an injury, if you're talking about, a civil unrest, if you're talking about being your dreams, if you're talking about whatever. When things when the shit hits the fan, if you're very calm and cool, you have a higher chance of survival versus, being in a panic mood and cussing everything out. Because, even though I felt I was in tremendous pain, I was just thinking to myself, thank you, God, thank you that I didn't get more messed up. Thank you that my bone wasn't sticking out of my skin, Sure, it was twisted the other way, but at least it was still intact. So being able to be grateful, even in a tough situation, has definitely helped me personally to muster the courage, muster the energy to go and finish the job or get myself to safety. So always be positive no matter what happens. Always pep talk to yourself because, when I was in shock, I just kept telling myself, man, you can do it, brother. And one of the first things I did when I started getting in shocks and I had shadow breathing is just to take deep breaths. I tried the yoga breathing, and it did help me out, man, because sometimes, when you're in shock, your brain just over-regulates and you even get in a more tougher situation. But being able to be calm, being able to breathe, being able to pep talk myself to say, you can do it, brother. You're strong. You got this, man. Okay? Pain is temporary. And that kind of, pep talk allowed me to pull myself up, being massively injured, gather all my stuff in the hood, walk 16 miles, figure what to eat to eliminate the shock that I was going through, figure out how to address the wound. And now I'm about to go to the gym and take a shower and actually see all my bruises, guys, because I haven't had a chance to do that. Because again, it was like 10 I fell, 10 at night, 12 o'clock I got to the gas station, and since 12 o'clock till like 6 o'clock I've been walking the remaining 16 miles, guys, and I had to sit down because I was extremely tired. And guys, I don't know if you've ever felt really hard. I mean, your body's just jacked up like everywhere. Like, of course, I have the primary injuries, but I also have secondary injuries. Like, I'm so sore, my fingers, like everything. I mean, I literally fell. My bike crank got bent, my pedals got bent. Like, it was a serious fall, because if you have steel getting bent, then imagine what it does to flesh and bone. Anyways, I wanted to share this with you guys. I want to document it for myself. I did have a crazy crash. I've never had a crash like this before. I was 16 miles out. I didn't have any help, no friends, no family. Didn't call anyone. I just it hurts to read, guys. It sounds funny, but it is funny because it was an adventure. I wasn't a victim. I could have sit down and cried. I wanted to cry, but I thought to myself, crying ain't gonna do nothing about it, brother. You got to get yourself out of this situation. And crying is just going to make me feel more sad or depressed or pity party. I don't need that. So that's why I decided to talk to myself positively and get myself out of this situation. So guys, this is Mike, Mr. No Fluff. Be your dreams, don't take no for an answer, no matter what. Peace.